Good evening and welcome to Off the Lip, the show about surfing and skateboarding. If you'd like to join the show tonight, give us a call at 831-479-1080. That's 831-479-1080. And now, here are your hosts for tonight's program, Neil Pearlberg and Terry Campion.
Good evening and welcome to the Off the Lip radio show on KSCO, broadcasting from Santa Cruz, California, the surf and shark capital of the world. Tonight we are talking in conjunction with Shark Week last week on Discovery Channel. We decided to invite back on the show Mr. Sean Van Sommeran, the founder of the Pelagic Research Surf. Give to me what it is. Give it to me again.
PSRF, PSRF, the Pelagic Shark Research Foundation, established in 1990.
I get
this planet's first shark-specific conservation, public education, and conservation and research group.
Okay, I always get that wrong. And so tonight we're talking about great whites, Makos. We're talking about the
salmon sharks.
Salmon sharks. What else are we talking about?
Public education regarding, conservation of the species,
That's
which is the motivation for all the
talk about
research and interaction that we do with sharks.
I'm here tonight with my host, Mr. Terry Campion, otherwise known as TC, who's been my co-host.
Good evening, Neil.
And the 76 shows that we've had.
76 shows.
I think it's 77.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It's a lot of fun. We're really enjoying this show. It's a lot of fun. So, but tonight, one of our most favorite guests is Sean Van Sommeran, because he's talking about the mammal that everybody hates. Every surfer doesn't like.
We were born. Born that way.
Seals?
Sean, you ready for this show?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because you have a plethora of knowledge.
I have my moments, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna start off with with the bait fish that have been hanging around Santa Cruz. We've had in the last year, TC. I mean, whales,
lots of anchovies.
Dolphin.
All the way up and down the coast.
A lot of squid. We had all the seiners here. Even the Southern California seiners were up here for the squid.
Okay, so what's going on? What's going on, Sean? And how is that affecting the sharks? What are we not seeing underneath the surface?
Lots. Fully most
Fill
of
us
it, the majority. Fully most of their surface is ocean. And most of it is below. And what we're having in recent seasons is warmer offshore currents coming unusually close to shore, as well. A lot of conditions that are typically found hundreds of miles south are up the coast. So you see a lot of stuff that's typically in Baja, in Southern California, and up to Morro Bay, stuff that you would usually see down there. And up here, where they've got triggerfish off Capitola Wharf, which is an awesome place.
So are we talking like Makos and blues and...
not a lot of sharks in the bay this year. They're around. We've seen some big ones near shore, as we do every year.
Which near shore being where?
Most of the stuff that we see from the air, for example, is down in the back of the bay.
Okay.
That's the warmest of the bay.
Which the back of the bay being?
Trestles down by La Selva, Manresa area. I would say that's a hot spot, as well as the cement ship. There's some pinnipeds there. If you go to the other way towards the Salinas, Pajaro rivers, you'll find the same aggregations and traffic with dolphins, attracts large sharks.
I think that's hilarious personally, because so many people think that's the safest place in the bay.
It's as safe as it is. It is what it is. When's the last time any of us were bitten by a shark?
Good question.
The perception is if you see a shark, you were chased out of the water. And it's just, maybe that's a good thing. But it's not, a genuine attack. The sharks actually have a very narrow profile for what they're looking for. And bipedal fire-using primates in boats are spongeboards, stand-up paddles, inner tubes,
not on their diet. It's not their.
Well, now we have a lot more people in the water now with stand-up paddleboarding. We've got obviously there's more surfers in the water,
more GoPros.
So you can actually say you saw a shark now. So have you seen more activity?
Yes. However, to qualify that, a lot of the reports and even media depiction, especially kind of foggy photos of some image of a shape going through the surf zone. There are dolphins most of the time, and people will that almost looks like a shark. They'll go through the series of pictures, pick that one, submit, and go, I saw a shark.
Right.
So there's a lot of false reporting. There's a lot of misidentified. Southern California. If you look on YouTube, there are several videotapes that say white shark eating seal, and it's in fact a Mako shark eating a sea lion. Little differences and details like that are often missed. Basking shark seen from a distance. I thought a 30-foot long white shark, and it's just not. So most people want to see a white shark. That's what they're familiar with. That's what they're fed on TV. So salmon shark gets to be white shark, blah. Most sharks aren't menacing or glamorous at all. Of the more than 400 different species of sharks, there's several to a few dozen that are really capable of biting you badly or certainly not even consuming you.
Hang on a second. We have Skin. Is this the Skin Dog online? What do you think, CC? Skin Dog calling in? Skinny, are you there? Is this
Skin Dog?
Skin Dog. You got a question? Skinny got a question?
Oh, first of all, I just want to say, what's up, boys?
We're doing good.
Yeah,
We miss
Skinny.
You got to come back. We miss you. We miss you in the studio, my friend.
I got to get back in there, guys.
We're going to get you back in.
He's our sanctuary ambassador.
Where's my box?
You got to win, dude. No, just.
Okay, Skinny.
No.
Line us up with your question. Go ahead.
Now, does El Nino have more or less sharks?
More generally. It brings a lot of offshore animals closer to shore, oftentimes. We don't know that this is an El Nino. When El Nino was first detected, they kind of didn't know what it is. There's coastal, where there's offshore currents that will be pushed in, coastal as well. That'll, cause warm water pockets, sea surface temperatures to warm up and that kind of thing. Sometimes it can be very desolate. Other times...
So if there's more food sources coming here too, then is there less chance of shark attacks?
Yeah, I think it's the same. I think it really makes no difference. It really is up to the scenario and the shark. They're around all the time, and that's just a basic. The good news is they hardly ever bite people.
What are you seeing from the air? Because you're using a helicopter right now, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, not a lot this year. Earlier in the season, I've been really busy with other stuff. Stranding unit response, working with the California Department Fish and Wildlife Forensics Lab. Collecting specimens for that. But we see sharks every year. We saw some earlier this year. Again, down off Manry's. Specialized helicopters out of Watsonville.
I've been surfing Manry's lately too. I've been surfing Manry's I've been surfing Manry's for the last 2 weeks. Had a great time.
Yeah, sharks.
And
too.
I saw dolphins. I was surfing Manry's today, and the dolphins were way closer, surfing in the waves, and they were so close to shore.
Just a word for those.
I got just hot off the press from Freeline, TC.
Hot off the press
from Freeline. 7 to 10 foot modern blackbirds in stock, assorted colors: pink, orange, green, blue, red, and Coke bottle blue. End of summer sale. Labor Day summer styles what'd she say? I can't even read Brittany's handwriting. Everything's on sale. They got back to school sale, Labor Day sale coming up, bikini sales, TC.
Well, summer's over. They should be on sale, right?
35% off. Tell the missus.
I will.
All SurfTech Ultraflexes are 20% off. This is Neil and TC with the Off the Lip Radio Show, broadcasting from Santa Cruz, California. We are talking about sharks tonight. This is our own Shark Show. We'll be right back. Thinking of a vacation in Santa Cruz? Then contact Beach Nest Vacation Rentals at 831-722-0888 to make your reservation. The very best local vacation management company with their staff will take care of the tiniest of details to better your memorable Monterey Bay holiday. They are pet-friendly with a choice of homes on or close to the beach in Santa Cruz and the Central Coast. For further information, go to beachnest.com or follow them on Facebook.
Aloha Island Grill, corner Portola Drive and 17th Avenue, featuring mouth-watering plate lunch. We're proud to celebrate 10 years of serving the Santa Cruz community. And we'd like to send a shout-out to Neil and TC for doing a great job for over a year here with their Off the Lip radio show. We're open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. till 9 p.m. Visit us on the web at alohaislandgrill.com. Like us on Facebook. For to-go orders, call 479-3299. Congratulations once again to Neil and TC for 1 year on the air. Aloha Island Grill is a proud member of Think Local First.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
Hi,
Hi, this is Steve Pereira, the beach guy at Bailey Properties in Santa Cruz, California. If you're looking for a beach home or a coastal property, give us a call at 831-818-7064, or you can call my wife Diane at 831-818-5939, or drop in on our website at lifesabeach.com and check out all the inventory in all price ranges. We've been selling beach properties since 1982. We're here to help you. Give us a call today.
And we are back with the Off the Lip Radio Show on KSCO. We are on Facebook. Give us a like on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Like us on there too.
Yeah, follow us.
Tweet. The phone number, if you want to call in, like Skinny just did, is 831-479-1080. Surely you have a shark question. Have you seen a shark? Have you been bitten by a shark? Have you thought about sharks since the movie came out in
75, 76?
Okay.
Yeah.
The book was better.
Do you need a bigger?
I love the movie, though.
Do you need a bigger boat? I want to thank Billy Graff from KSCO for doing that amazing promo we did. You need a bigger boat.
Smooth.
It's a great promo.
Billy's smooth.
A lot of big boats.
This portion of the show is brought to you by. This is a trivia portion of the show, and we have a bunch of swag from the Pelagic Shark Research Foundation given to us tonight. T-shirts, God knows what else he's got, and he's got a whole bunch of stuff right here.
Yeah.
So if you can answer this question, which is, what did we come up with, TC?
Well, first off, of course, it's sponsored by Felix at Sand Dollar Ding Repair.
That's right.
Can't forget that. Best ding repair in the business.
Right.
Drop him off at a local surf shop.
Got to have him on the show.
We do need to get him on the show. He has
The
an
beard's
amazing...
still there.
The beard, fear the beard, but fantastic ding repair. Best in the business.
He's the guy.
Get Felix to fix your board for you.
722-4060. Just drop it off at O'Neill or Freeline, and he'll pick it up and get it fixed for you.
And you can always reach him at dingrepair.net.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the question is for this bunch of swag from the Pelagic Shark Research Foundation is...
Ready for it?
Go ahead, TC.
Last week, we had Luke Rockhold on the show.
Yep.
Pride of Santa Cruz. Definitely a butt kicker.
Yep.
Luke is currently ranked what in the UFC? He has a ranking. What is his ranking? And you are the second caller. You will win the gift pack.
831-479-1080. A bunch of tons of swag here from the Pelagic. There's probably even a great white in that box over
2,200 pounds of it.
There's tons of stuff right here. So let's talk about the king. Is it the king in the food chain?
I would say orcas.
The orcas, right? So
sperm whales.
the orcas have been around here in the bay lately.
Always, yeah.
What's going on with those guys?
They are...
How quickly are they going to do some damage here to one kayaker who's out there fishing?
Yeah, good question. You know, as people kind of pilgrimage out to spectate, that's something that's never really happened. And it's amazing because I think the orcas are smart and haven't been cruel to humans, except for in like confined artificial conditions like at SeaWorld.
I want to talk about Sea. We're going to talk about
Well,
SeaWorld later on.
and the orcas travel in packs, right? I mean, it's...
Yeah. I mean, people will, great white shark versus orcas. Orcas are bigger. They're at least as fast. They travel in groups. They got radios in all their cars. They'll get you.
So an orca versus a great white, what do you got?
A crash diving white shark with a bunch of orcas in hot pursuit. You know, there's a lot of myths about that dynamic in terms of like, white sharks are instinctively afraid of white sharks. The only time the interaction has actually been documented and observed involved a white shark actually approaching a group of orcas that were eating a pinniped, and then the orcas killed it. It was a subadult juvenile white shark, 1,000-pounder. But you know, a big 7,000-pound orca.
And so that was witnessed.
Or two. Yeah.
How many times in the wild
unwitnessed? That was the only time it's ever been witnessed. You know, they've seen slicks and bird action and speculated. You know, that's for movies a lot of the time. We've seen orcas come right through Año Nuevo Island, and the sharks stayed. You know, we've seen orcas. We've seen the sharks scatter out and disappear. You know, for a week or two. You know, I think they just move off to another spot. They have waypoints, seasonal waypoints, and not having nothing to do with orcas.
And you've been tracking sharks? And the sharks that you track?
We've tagged more white sharks, my group, and basking sharks than any other group, on the planet.
And are they the ones you're tagging? I know they travel and they're nomadic, but are they still hanging out here? Are you seeing them?
They have seasonal waypoints where they will come and hang out, orbit around seal colonies as well. You know, they will travel. They can travel 50 miles in a day, no problem, or more.
How far are they traveling in a season? Are they traveling?
You know, as far as Hawaii and beyond. You know, the restrictions are basically around the telemetry gear. What kind of telemetry gear can you get onto a shark without actually harming the shark or affecting its behavior that you're trying to understand?
Right. Now, you've been tracking sharks. You've been involved with sharks since when? Since how long?
1990. We're the first ones to put transmitters on white sharks in the Monterey Bay.
Are you surprised by different things every day, or is there something? Do you get to learn different stuff? Or
yeah, it's constant. Yeah.
It is constant.
2012, we tracked the first basking shark from Monterey Bay to right past the Guadalupe Island, down off Baja to open shore deep sea. You know, at that point it was a debate. Up until that point, it was a debate whether basking sharks were coastal or open sea. Where do they go? Just like white sharks back in the year 2000, the conventional wisdom, all the PhDs were rather insistent that white sharks were neritic coastal and that there was no data to support open ocean migration. They were really kind of reticent to the whole idea. Transmitters showed that was the case, in fact.
So if TC and I are out there surfing, or Skin Dog's out there surfing, what would you do, or what should we do if we have a great white shark comes towards us?
I know what I'm doing.
What are we doing?
Well, like
Larry out of the water.
Laird Hamilton put a YouTube vid out. It was interviewed for it. You know, the one you see is the one you don't have to worry about. If you see it, that's good news. Typically, if you have a surfboard or any kind of item around you, you can use that as a shield.
Right. Okay.
And contacts are rare. Definitely kick it in the head.
Okay.
Look alive. In other words, they will come up and put their mouths on you, grab you in their teeth, just to pick the sandwich up and sniff it.
Test drive.
And in that, it's like you fell through a plate glass window. They don't have to bite you to slice you up.
This is good right here.
Well, I mean,
let's see what
jellyfish.
We got Zach from Felton on the phone.
More people fall off of cliffs and get hit by cars and drown.
Of course.
Yeah. Zach, sharks are the last thing a mariner really has to worry about. It's a fluke event. There should be lightning week, where people get hit by lightning.
Okay.
Let's put it that way. You look at sharks. Everyone's out there, look at this. I'm swimming with one.
Okay.
I mean, it's attacking the cage now. I mean, it's just like, it's been doing that since the 60s.
Right.
Nothing new.
We got Zach from Felton on the phone. Zach, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good show. Good topic.
Thank you.
I've been surfing around here. I've been surfing the bay here since maybe 91, transplant, but nonetheless, I've thought about the shark thing, and I think you got yourself a serious shark sympathizer on your hands in there. You better check his back. He might have a fin on him.
They make better friends than enemies.
That's probably true.
Can maybe he could explain to real quickly how how we're going to prevent ourselves from becoming like Australia or. Just, I see a shark increase on the. I think we should, when there's multiple attacks at the same location, that day you need to put out a boat, chum, fish them out, make some ceviche, have a party, and not hunt them actively, but thin them.
That doesn't make sense.
Together.
You have to hunt them actively, but don't hunt them actively. You're not making sense. When that happens, give me a call, and I'll consult with you on how you want to go about and do that without hurting yourself.
It seems like
Australia's retarded. I mean, the West Australian shark cull. I mean, they're killing whales, turtles, everything but white sharks hardly because they're so few and far between. And they're actually laying bait near the coast trying to do that.
They need to establish: are they an endangered species or are they not?
They're definitely endangered.
It's mystery, and it's like it's endangered. Like it's a pseudoscience, and they need to like.
What is? Be specific. You're using catchphrases. What is the pseudoscience? Who? What?
Well, if you don't know, if there's so much mystery involved in the numbers, and then
I know. I've been doing it for 20 years. I know enough to know what you're saying.
Anyway, if there's multiple attacks, you need to fish them out.
Multiple attacks. We'll get an attack. Yeah, ceviche. Can you
spell
that?
Enjoy it.
Thanks, Zach, for giving us a call. We appreciate it, buddy.
Have a good night.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for calling.
And on the phone right now, we have Brad. Brad, you there?
Hey, guys. How are you?
We're doing well.
Hey, listen, one thing I heard that was really interesting, you were talking about the Orca, the one known event. Was that the one up on the Farallon Islands about, 5-6 years ago?
No, it was a little bit earlier than that. It was, but it was off of, southeast Farallon Islands. Observed by whale watchers and the resident shark researchers at the time, Peter Pyle and Scott Anderson went out and documented it as well. Good stuff.
Yeah, actually, I think the one I'm thinking about was actually 2006. And they just last week showed footage of this on Shark Week, obviously. But it was really interesting because what the whale had done is grabbed this shark and rolled it over on its back, and it pretty much went to sleep just like an alligator or a crocodile will.
Yeah, it's called tonica mobility. It actually doesn't work with lamnids, which a white shark is. I think the shark rolling upside down was just incidental to the fact that the orca had crushed its skull and spine. It didn't
really
tonica mobility. Yeah, those orcas. The smaller of the two was like 18 feet long. The shark's like 10 feet long.
Oh, right.
That's not a fair fight.
Well, the shark shouldn't have approached the orcas.
It's smaller. It's 18 feet. The orca's 18 foot. It's a small orca.
Yeah, and the orca was 20. They're both female adults, both already previously photo identified. And the larger of the two was like about 22 feet long. They had killed a pinniped, and the shark was orbiting and began to encroach upon the orcas.
Right.
When the orcas reacted and killed it.
Hey, Brad, thanks for giving us a call, buddy. We appreciate it. Unless you have another question, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to let you guys know I have spotted one while fishing out there, and we definitely needed a bigger boat. We had a 17-foot boat. This thing was a good 2 feet longer than our boat, came right up alongside of us, rolled right over on its side, looked at us. You could have taken 3 steps to get across its back. Its eye was about as big as a softball. And let me tell you, it wasn't really frightening, but it was the most surreal thing I'd ever seen. I've seen them in aquariums. But let me tell you, the 3 of us started huddling towards the middle of that boat. All of us reaching for the keys. Let's get us out of here.
Closest
but anyway, a great show.
Thanks, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. And we have Nick from Royal Oaks. Nick, you there?
Yeah, the guy. I'm still here because I believe I have my board photo lapped on a great white. He got one the same color fin in Marina. I swear you could train them to go after something, and you could find them through transmitters. And I wish they were all transmitted because when there's an otter on the beach and the dog chasing them out, you don't want to know. You want to know there's not one there. You'd be happy to know there was a shark there, so you could chase them out or get rid of them. I'd say get rid of them because they only die from bites. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think there's lakes and rivers and swimming pools for people that are phobic about marine life.
We have one more phone call. We got Mike from Watson who's hanging on the line here. Mike, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you guys?
We're doing good.
Oh, I'm watching the movie Jaws right now.
You are? A year or so. What are you looking for? Or what are you going to be researching?
We're very busy with, in terms of policy, more busy with policy than we've been since, I say, the middle 90s. There's a huge pushback now by fisheries. For example, shark fin trade is banned in California. Which is awesome. Fisheries interests are actually trying to unplug that and undermine that, as well as in Hawaii.
Why are we watching on TV like Shark Hunter on TV and watching that on?
Yeah,
why
I think that's an
artifact
of the corporate interests, which have an undue influence on what we see on TV, are promoting and glamorizing fishing for sharks for money, and the long-term goal is to get the white shark delisted and converted into like a big Mako shark, which is a big prize target. They want shark killing tournaments have been on the wane for the last several years. The National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration has biologists that are actually working to try to support those.
Okay. It's crazy.
And promote them because they can make money.
Right.
And they actually resent conservationists like myself that criticize aquariums for keeping white sharks in display that die or suffer and are shown up to.
Aquariums coming to an end like SeaWorld's a big controversy about. There's a big controversy with SeaWorld right now.
Yeah, they were almost forced to abandon the orcas. SeaWorld's a great concept, right? You don't have to imprison these orcas. They killed people in captivity. They die. They have a lot
aren't
of
they?
problems.
I just read something about SeaWorld just yesterday that there's something ending down there.
Well, no, they just expanded. They got permission to have a larger pool. They were supposed to get.
Actually, what I read recently is that their stocks are significantly down.
Oh, they're hammered big time, but they got their permits.
Stocks are significantly down. And of course, he can contribute a lot to the CNN documentary Blackfish.
I watched it the other night.
Same with the Monterey Bay Aquarium's white shark exhibit. You know, they've had a number of animals there, a number have died as well. We got footage of one's face all ground up.
Right.
But you bring up
it's just not ethical. It's not ethical. It's not necessary.
Let's tell everybody who you listen to here. This is the Off the Lip Radio Show on KSCO. We're talking to Sean Ben Sommeran, who is the founder of the Pelagic Shark Research Foundation. We're talking great white shark. We're talking any shark here tonight.
Well, you know what's kills me about this is I see on social networking there's the 16-year-old cheerleader standing next to a rhino, and the internet lights up and goes crazy. But it's acceptable to hunt sharks. You know, which is, in my opinion, kind of a rhino of the sea.
They make it arguable. You know, there is a strong voice in the public opinion that thinks it's lame, right? But you don't see them on Shark Week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not invited to speak at the aquarium
because
of a very basic conflict of interest, and it's about money, right? I'm not doing this to get rich, obviously.
And let's go back to that shark hunter show. There must be some money being paid off to their local fishing game.
They have prizes in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. People get a yacht. I mean, had I been finning and fishing since 1990, I'd probably be retired.
And so to get back on that, so is it legal to go and fish shark in Maine?
Good question. Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's where they still have, they try to, promote
shark fishing.
Right, including white sharks.
We're going to come back and talk about Manhattan Beach. Before we go, this portion of the show is brought to you by Dogmatic Arts, home of Rocky Rat Boy, Nat Young, Dollar, Nelly, Replogal, of course, Barney. Amazing photos of your surfer are for sale at Dogmatic Arts in Capitola. Stop and check out the art and say hi to Patrick, who's a great guy. All at the Lighthouse Building in downtown Capitola. This is Neil TC with Sean Van Sommeran from the Pelagic Shark Research Foundation. The phone number, if you want to call in tonight and talk shark, 831-479-1080. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Susie from Flip Flop Shop Santa Cruz with a special offer for the Off the Lip Radio Show listeners. Now through April 15th, get 10% off when you mention the Off the Lip Radio Show and how much you love Neil and TC. We've got some great new styles and brands for spring, Sanook being one of them, happy, friendly, and fun. Check it out. We've listened to our customers. You guys have asked for arch support sandals. We got them, Bionic. You've also asked for larger sizes, now carrying 17 and selected brands and styles. Protect yourself with Sunny Sunbum Sunscreen. Flip Flop Shop Santa Cruz. We are located 1528 Pacific Avenue, downtown Santa Cruz. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Hey, Off the Lip Radio, going nationwide. Neil, TC, I want to put my support out there for you guys, and thank you all for supporting People's Coffee. I'm Kurt, the owner here. We're on the corner of 17th and Bromer in Live Oak Plaza. Wow, we just made 7 years, so we're here to stay. We're not going anywhere. We put out an amazing cup of coffee. If you haven't been down to check us out, take a moment. We don't disappoint. We care about your happiness. People's Coffee, corner of 17th and Bromer. We will not let you down.
This is Brother Timmy
and Cleo from Cleo's Corner at Pono Hawaiian Grill.
Featuring wraps, teriyaki bowls, plate lunches, amazing and creative salads, vegetarian and gluten-free options, and over 20 different types of poke, all made to order, fast, fresh, and healthy. And what's your favorite, Khalil?
The chicken fingers.
Located at 120 Union Street in downtown Santa Cruz. Call us for takeout at 831-426-PONO or check us out on the web at ponohawaiiangrill.com. We put the ono in Pono.
It's a new life for me, yeah. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
Hi, this is Sherry from The Healthy Way, here with Neil from the Off the Lip Radio Show and the Our Local Sports Show, who successfully completed a weight loss program with us.
Yes, thank you, Sherry. I'm so stoked how I feel. How you and your staff helped me achieving my goal of losing 25 pounds. It truly was easy. And importantly, 3 months later, I'm still at my desired weight. I am feeling better, surfing better, and mention this KSCO ad for your free consultation with The Healthy Way.
Let us show you how you, too, can use our simple and easy program. Just give us a call at 831-462-5900 or take a look for yourself at thehealthyway.us or follow us on Facebook.
We are back with the Off the Lip Radio Show, KSCO, broadcasting from Santa Cruz, California, here with Sean Van Sommeran with the Pelagic Shark Research Foundation. We are talking shark. The man in the gray suit, the landlord, is who we are speaking about tonight. If you have a question for Sean tonight, the phone number is 831-479-1080. And what I want to get to is what the hell happened in Manhattan Beach.
Well, I've been asked not to chew so loudly, so I'm going to remove my gum.
Oh, you're getting rid of the gum?
Ready?
Shannon, get rid of the gum.
I don't often do this, Shannon.
Get rid of Shannon, the gum's gone.
Gum is gone.
Thank you, dear.
the gum's gone. She's going to kill me. What the hell happened in Manhattan Beach?
So this is a scenario. It's these guys that have been catching white sharks illegally down there for the last few seasons. And there's a YouTube video. Yeah, off the beaches, wherever they can, get one. And in this case, more recently, they had caught one illegally. They've got, heavy rigged gear for this, especially for that purpose.
Wire leader.
Yeah, it's supposed to be illegal. White sharks have been protected in California since, 1995, California symbol 522. And then thanks to a Surfrider lawsuit in Monterey Bay, white sharks got protected in the marine sanctuary here. So that's extant. That's a current law that's trying to be overturned by shows like Shark Hunters and O-Search and all these groups that are very, very fishing-themed research, as they say. It's not conservation. But these guys were poachers. They're on the wharf, and they snagged a baby white shark pup and had it on for quite a while. They saw at a distance a group of swimmers swimming toward the pier. It's a routine situation, if you can imagine junior lifeguards up at Capitola Wharf or something.
Right.
Ed would throw them overboard. so would Mike. But as it was, these guys slacked their line out, basically waiting and anticipating these swimmers to come by. And then as a prank, it's on the video, you can hear them say it, they tighten the line up, haul it up to the surface, right in among these swimmers, got tangled in a guy and bit him. Right? Shark attack. No, that was a poacher attacking a shark, and then swimmers, because of the poacher, got entangled with that.
Where's Fish and Game in this situation?
The first reaction was actually kind of heavy-handed. They wanted to restrict all fishing, which isn't unfair because most people fishing don't do that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then the counter pushback was that no, you can do it. In fact, blame the swimmer. He should have been swimming near the pier.
I don't get
or something
that at
like
all.
that.
That's so
a
silly.
lot of shark-specific issues don't make sense like that. It's not about right or wrong or making sense. It's about prevailing will and conflicts of interest. And these guys want to fish for sharks. They want to turn fisheries interests within the agencies. There are a few of them. These are fixtures, not everybody. They're great departments. They want white sharks to be a big Mako so that they could fish for them at these $1 million shark tournaments.
Since there's more surface, there's more paddleable, as we spoke about earlier, are sharks, great whites, and so forth, Makos coming closer into shore?
They do that periodically, but it's increased presence, not abundance. And the main artifact of sharks being seen is more people seeing them and videotaping them, recording them, poaching them, fishing them on TV, etc.
Right.
You don't need to even fish for sharks to do research.
Back to this Manhattan Beach situation. These guys, because I know Fish and Game always does this intent thing. It's like having a treble hook out at the hole fishing for salmon. You can't have treble hooks at the hole.
Right.
If they're using this heavy gear with wire leader, it's obviously what they're fishing for.
It's a simple fix. You just restrict that gear from being used from the pier. It also overshadows with issues like entanglement. Big heavy line. These sharks also often been found dead, tangled on the pilings underneath the wharf afterwards. The next morning, right? Birds get tangled in it. It's just And
did I hear you say the swimmer was blamed in this situation?
Yeah, there was a lot of criticism about the group of swimmers, coming, too close to the pier where people were fishing anyway, right? But these guys were geared up for sharks.
And I heard in the video you could hear them laughing like they're pulling a prank on the swimmer.
No, I mean, they say, make them talk. This is going to be hilarious, and stuff like that as the swimmers come. It's just completely negligent.
And these fishermen had nothing happened to them.
I won't even call them fishermen. They're poachers. They're not your average sport fisherman that fishes for food and has fun with their family and their buddies. These guys were out there horsing around, poaching illegally.
One more thing about this juvenile great white traveling around by itself, do you think?
No, actually, and there's some speculation, and it's interesting whether they travel around in peer groups. The mother will drop them off, and then they'll kind of stay in like a squadron.
Of other pups?
Yeah, there's small numbers. A big litter of white shark pups is maybe a dozen, sometimes 6 or fewer. The larger, older specimens have larger numbers of young and larger individual young.
Hold everything. You just told me a great white has 12 pups?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Well, you compare that to a tuna or sandwich, like millions of eggs. You know? It's quality control. The nature doesn't need a bunch of them. They just need enough of them. The downside of that is you can kill off a shark that's 70, 80 years old in the course of a morning, right? And it's gone, right? And they aren't replaceable.
And so if a great white has 12 pups, how many of those 12 will reach adult?
Exactly. There's a lot of attrition. Other sharks eat them. Killer whales intercept them. They get caught in fishing gear. It's probably mortality is really heavy at this point. We know there's a lot of heavy poaching going on down south of the border. The Coast Guard in just recent weeks have recovered drifting nets that had been abandoned after they floated this way. American poachers go south, Mexican poachers go north.
Okay. And what's going on in the Sea of Cortez? You just said earlier that they got another. They had another great.
In 2012, there were over a dozen white sharks landed down off of Baja and in Cortez. Steve Thomas wrote about it in his blog a few weeks after I'd received emails with pictures of some of my tags. That we never did identify which shark it was. The tag wasn't returned, but I was shown pictures, and then it became kind of an academic dispute after that.
Last time you were on the show about a year ago, we didn't talk about Mako sharks, and all of a sudden they're in the picture here.
They're a close relative to the white shark. They're a high prize sport fish because they're big, and they're have a fierce reputation. They're vigorous. They explode up out of the water. You've seen Air Jaws, right? And you've seen white sharks. So much you do a documentary about Makos. Because anything a white shark can do, Makos can do as well. And they get big, 1,500 pounds, close to a ton. Those are fewer and farther between these days. But they eat seals, dolphins, other sharks, etc. They're spectacular. They don't bite humans very often during air sea disasters, fluke events of our own cause kind of thing. They're not an animal that prowls the beach and bites swimmers.
Has there ever been, you think, a Mako shark that was... or a white attack that
certain species that are good to eat?
What if Foodsmith serves shark?
Yeah, there's been a big surge nationwide, in concurrence
shark,
with Shark Week. I don't eat them or fish them myself. Thresher sharks are good. I just wanted to point out, actually, in terms of fishing for sharks, the smaller ones are better table fare.
Okay.
The big 1,000-pounders that everyone's looking for trophies, they're loaded with bioaccumulative toxins, higher parasite loads. They're not good table fare.
Go to foodsmith.com and see if you can get shark in your Foodsmith meals at your dinner table, or with local or organic local ingredients. Hang on. All crafted by local restaurateur Jamie Smith. This is Neil TC. Here with Sean Ben Sommeran. We are speaking shark. We'll be right back after this break. Santa Cruz's own beautiful De La Vega golf course offers you 18 or 9 holes and a lighted driving range that has 40 stalls, so you're almost guaranteed a spot. Check out their great deal. You can buy a county discount card and save each time you play. The card is just $50, and that lets you save around 25% of green fees for 1 year from the date of purchase. Head professional Tim Blaustolo and his staff invite you to come and play one of the finest golf courses in Northern California. For further information, go to delaviegagolf.com or book your tee time by calling 831-423-7214.
Save the Waves Coalition and Surfrider Santa Cruz chapter are partnering to host a beach cleanup as part of the Santa Cruz World Surfing Reserve initiative. Join us next Saturday, July 19th at Seabright State Beach from 11 to 1. We've also teamed up with our friends at Borreo Skateboards, the world's first skateboard made from 100% recycled ocean plastics. By collecting used fishing nets and turning them into rippable skateboards, Borreo is helping us to keep the oceans clean. Again, join us at Seabright for a chance to...
Chill Out Cafe on 41st Avenue, Santa Cruz is not just a block from some of the world's best surf, but it is also where you can go relax and order the tastiest grub before and after your sesh. Plump burritos, fresh salads, sky-high sandwiches, and a superb selection of hot and cold drinks. They have something for you. Go to chilloutcafesantacruz.com to view their menu, and to place your order to go, call 831-477-0543. Chill Out Cafe, where they roll the fatties.
All right, we are back with the final segment of the Off the Lip radio show on KSCO. This portion of the show is brought to you by Drug Free Solution, offers a solution for heroin opiate addicts. The detox method is an app and takes only 3 days. You can then move on to the 9-month home program to cleanse addiction from your life physically, mentally, and emotionally. Learn more at drugfreesolution.com or follow them on Facebook.
Do we have a cost yet for that?
What? No, I'll get that for you. Next show, I'm going to bring that up. We're going to talk about the aircraft carrier We'll talk about radioactivity.
Well, we were talking about the Farallon Islands. And one of the things I was going to say to Sean, I don't know if I said this earlier, but Willie Morris, you remember Willie Morris, the pro surfer Willie Morris, was in town today, and he's a commercial fisherman at the Farallons. And he told me that this is the first year he did not see a great white shark at the Farallons, which I thought was very interesting.
It's a bit early. Typically it's late summer, early winter, fall.
So have you found radioactivity in the sharks?
We're looking into it. There was a big die-off unrelated to the salmon shark strandings, which is a carnobacterial infection. But
Fukushima?
No.
Okay.
San Francisco Bay has its own homegrown contaminations.
Radioactive.
Yeah, send me an email. I'll give you the information. You're not going to find it on the news, but there's whole beach closures and stay out of the water, stay out of the mud, contaminations, signs posted to keep people aware.
What's it from?
A bunch of different things. Most of just basic watershed contaminants. Everything from rat poison to snail killer to cat litter, hand sanitizer, pharmaceuticals, lawn greenery. All that stuff goes into the watershed. As well, it's not well known, but in the early 50s, an entire aircraft carrier that had been hydrogen atomic bomb tested out at Bikini Atoll was towed into San Francisco Bay and disassembled it for study. And within a very short time, people started getting sick. They hastily towed it outside the Farallon Islands and sank it down there. There's close to 50,000 55-gallon barrels of radioactive waste on the seafloor. It's a huge debris field out there. All the barrels are,
rusted,
corroding. Yeah, it's in there. It's been detectable in the kelp for over a decade. No one's looking. They don't want to look. They don't want to talk about it. There's more than one radioactive debris field.
It was a dump site for a while out there.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of pollutions there, munitions, all kinds of junk, including how big an aircraft carrier is.
Well, like I was saying during the break, my dad was telling me that they literally had to shoot the barrels with bullets to make them sink.
In some
radioactive
cases.
waste.
They had all these 55-gallon barrels loaded with everything from chip paint to upholstery and all that stuff that some of them floated.
I want to talk about the kayak. Kayak was on the other side of the kelp at Pleasure Point that had you were on CNN with that, correct? Last year, I think. You were on CNN about that?
2012 was a busy season.
For great white sharks?
Yeah, for shark
is the kelp,
and stuff.
and we talked about this before, is the kelp keeping them out?
No, not really. I liken it to like a scrub brush and a bear, right? They'll use the paths. If you brush through the bush, you get ticks and, more stuff than you need to. However, if they need to, they'll barge right through it. We call it the salad shooter. We've seen sharks like a motorboat just plow right through kelp beds after injured seals.
I always tell tourists, don't worry about it. There's no sharks in the kelp.
The good thing is that they're not looking for humans.
Right.
People are all like, but, if we have 17 attacks in one day, we need to drop nukes. Yeah, okay. When that happens, call me. Because it just doesn't happen.
We talked about this last time you were on the show, Sean, about bodily stuff and when you're in the water, whether you're a female having that deal or if you're going to pee in your wetsuit.
Yeah, no one's ever been bitten that I know of, and I've looked. Shark attack isn't my theme or specialty, but there's a lot of records out there. No one I ever known is like, I was menstruating and bitten by a shark. And I'm also asked, if I pee in my wetsuit, will a shark, bite me? And I said, no, not likely. It's, that's typically something that follows the event.
And a wrong time of the month for a woman?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't speak to that myself. I just know that, shark attacks are infrequent, attacks on women are rare.
Well,
you can get killed.
Go ahead, Justin.
Now, you were mentioning off the break, though, too, what they're really attracted to is the lipids. And maybe you can explain that to the viewers, what they're really sensing.
That's kind of what I was saying. White sharks are looking for marine mammals and larger fish, and they have a lot of oil. That's what it is. The oil is what surfaces on and creates a slick on the surface, so they're looking for that. A human isn't going to produce really any kind of... Usually when they bite a human starts bleeding, the sharks lose interest. It's not what they're looking for.
I got a question for you. Let's say let's say the Hollywood's going to come to you, Sean, and they're going to remake Jaws. What would you do? What would be the top?
I wouldn't touch
things?
Steven's movie. It's so awesome as it is. I mean,
so awesome.
Would you tell them not to make another movie?
It's great fiction.
Love that movie.
It's absolutely awesome fiction.
Kept me out of the water.
The characters, it's a beautiful piece of art for what it is, right? We know a lot more now than we did. I saw my first white shark predation the same summer I saw the movie as a preteen. And it was like seeing T-Rex, to talk about Jurassic Park now too. But
I don't know of a movie that scared more people.
Pelagic Park.
Nice
Yeah,
name.
it was pretty horrific, but also it was very graphic for its time. In 1970, you saw the severed head and the legs
well, when
sinking.
the
no one
captain
else
goes in
had that. It was gnarly. And what else is gnarlier than a big multi-ton thing that's crashing through boats to eat you, right?
They made a ride at Universal Studios.
55,000 years, right?
So you wouldn't, you tell them, leave it alone, leave it be. Jaws, the original Jaws movie is all that's needed.
Each one afterwards was stupid or
Sharknado or whatever.
Yeah, those are like, a cart. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, those are stupid for the sake of being stupid.
It really is. I agree. That's not entertaining.
So the great white shark's your friend.
Well,
right?
I would say we're neutrals.
You guys are neutral?
Yeah, I don't bother them. They don't bother me often.
Do you have names for them?
Yeah, quite a few of them.
Really?
Actually, Large Marge, animal we named back in the late 90s, Top Notch, Baracho, Nacho.
And you can tell by the markings of the fish, of the each shark, which one is which.
Yeah, often enough, especially the big ones.
Are there bad sharks?
Big ones being okay. Let's give us. Can you
catch them on off days? Or if they come in and they're hungry, they'll be quite a bit more assertive.
So they're moody.
Yeah, but again, we've never been really attacked or.
Before we go, can you give us a big one? Give us a size. Big one.
Well, I've tagged over 160 sharks. There's 3 of which are over 18 feet long. So, that's plenty big. People think they're 25 feet long, etc.
Sean, this has been it's a great show. We can talk about this for hours.
I love it.
We're going to have you come back. It's been a great show. I want to thank you for coming on the show. This is Sean Brent Sommeran from the Pelagic Shark Research Foundation. TC, you and I are off to the Chop House as usual.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for comfort, cocktails, and a great neighborhood spot, get to the Point Chop House on Portola Avenue. Their nightly drink and dinner specials. TC and I go on there after every show, have a beer and burger.
Yep.
Have a great time. I want to thank again Sean for coming on the show. I want to thank Justin, our producer, Chris, our engineer. I want to thank all the sponsors for sponsoring the show. Without them,
hey, we had some good callers tonight too.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Starting
Thanks
with
for calling,
Skin
you
Dog.
guys.
Skin Dog's going to come back. We got to get Skinny back.
Skinny will be back.
We want to thank everybody in the audience for listening, and I want to thank Shannon Marie Quirk from the Surf Channel. If you want to see the show again, it's on YouTube right now. And it's on offthelipradio.com. The podcast will be available tomorrow on our Facebook page.
You got 10 seconds. What's next week?
Shout out to Earth Island Institute up in San Francisco.
I got no idea.
Marine Mammal
Maybe
Center.
Skinny.
Okay.
Maybe Skinny. Who knows?
It's a mystery who we have for next
We
week.
have 2 minutes to
Specialized
go.
helicopter.
Oh, we have 2 minutes, TC. There's no, you know what?
Pelagic Shark Research Foundation.
KSCO, there's not one clock that says the same time.
I swear that
There's
clock.
19 clocks in here. Not one of them tells you the same time.
Oh, jeez.
It's unbelievable. Mr. Swirling, can you get a damn clock in here that works?
I want to know
For more
more.
information, email me, psrf@pelagic.org. We're on Facebook. Check it out. Give us a call.
Okay, perfect. The Off the Lip Radio Show is on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Send us a like.
Great show.
We're on YouTube. See all the shows on YouTube.
Tune in.
We're on TuneIn Radio.
Yeah.
You can't miss us.
Nope.
And we're going to be going on TV pretty soon, TC.
I know. I heard that.
Yeah.
We have to
Surf Rider
shave.
Foundation,
We're taking the show.
chapter.
We are taking the show to TV. It's going to be pretty cool.
Thanks, you guys.
can't
Awesome
wait.
show. Thanks
Yeah,
for the
thanks,
invite.
Sean. Yeah, it was
Again
awesome.
and again.
And we'll see you. Sean, you're going to come back another year. We're going to have
Yes,
you come
sir.
back again.
Yeah.
Talk some more shark. But we got to get some. We got to get a guy in his.